to read the article. Yet even so, the opening lines of the article still caught everyone's attention. It must be said that the game Biohazard Revelation is a groundbreaking product of the nation, and has even become a unique pride of the country. The content of the game revolves around apocalyptic fantasy. Although it's just a fantasy, I have to say that the brutality and harshness depicted in the game's apocalyptic setting are masterfully executed by the creators. Especially in this game, players can truly hone their willpower. A person may lack a strong physique, but they cannot lack a strong will. The technical level of this game is exceptionally high, and one could even say it is ahead of the world. What makes us even prouder is that this game is made domestically. The studio has also reached an agreement with the military to develop the latest virtual combat training games. As for the screenshots, I'll stop here. However, it must be said that even in these few sentences, there is a profound admiration for the studio. Yet, each of these praises hits the hearts of the people like a heavy hammer. It really hurts. But even though it stings, they have no strength to refute it. Who is this? This is the military district of a major city, an entity second only to the capital's military district. Who on earth would dare to argue? It's no exaggeration to say that the statements from this military district already represent the stance of the entire military. What does this imply? Anyone with a brain can figure it out. As long as their intelligence hasn't T-dropped, no one would dare to go against it. The studio's recognition by the military proves that it has also gained national acknowledgement. A game developer, to actually receive recognition from the nation and collaborate with the military? Unbelievable. This is probably the most outrageous thing of the century. Previously, the smear campaign against Lin Fei by hired trolls feels like a heavy slap to the face. This slap, it resonates, not only hitting him, but also affecting his reputation. At this moment, everyone in the conference room suddenly feels like a clown, especially when they think back to how confident they were in the morning, wishing they could crawl under the table. Meanwhile, the comments section below this post is being bombarded by netizens. Wow, Lin Fei is amazing. The studio is amazing. Support. Haha, the studio is incredible. I've decided to apply to military academies this year just to play military games. The studio is awesome. Domestically made is awesome. Support the military district. I will definitely enlist this year. Brothers, I've created a group for those who want to join the army. Please join. Just as all the netizens were discussing in the major city's military district's post, another article went viral. The content of the article is not much. It simply describes the blogger's process of gathering information, followed by dozens of screenshots. All the articles in the screenshots were published by the military district. However, what is shocking is not this article itself, but the accounts that shared the article. Official accounts like XX News, XX Military District, Eastern Mountain Military District, Central Military District, Central Economic. All of them are official accounts sharing the article, causing a complete sensation online. Seeing so many official endorsements for the gaming community, the fans of the gaming community felt an overwhelming sense of pride, with major media outlets supporting them. The previous negative news about the gaming community seemed to have vanished completely. It was as if those articles and posts had never existed, leaving no trace behind. Wow, isn't this a bit too exaggerated? Back at his sister's house, Lin Fei stared blankly at the messages and articles on his phone. Initially, when he left the military district, he thought that the elder Zheng would help him mitigate some negative public opinion. However, he never expected that the old man would boldly take a stand in his favor. With dozens of top official accounts supporting him, he felt a sense of elation. Mr. Lin, you are now an invaluable asset to the nation. What Elder Zheng is doing is merely to intimidate the malicious individuals. A soldier, who caught a glimpse of Lin Fei's phone screen, replied expressionlessly, that's the case. But with things like this, it might be a problem for me to even go outside, Lin Fei said with a bit of a headache. Chapter 115, Wealthy Players vs. Casual gamers. With increasing support from official media, Lin Fei and his Players Nation have stirred up a tremendous wave within the borders of the country, even in remote villages. The local women who browse short videos are aware of the remarkable young man emerging from the country, although they do not fully understand what Lin Fei's game represents. They are clear that this young man named Lin Fei is truly impressive. The strange move by a major gaming company to change servers has alerted various domestic gaming companies to something unusual. At the same time, they realized that their opportunity had arrived. All the gaming companies began to ramp up their promotional efforts, trying to capture some users. However, they did not expect that the investment and return would be completely disproportionate. In fact, they discovered that the biggest beneficiary of this incident was Players Nation. It was that damned studio again. Due to the previous public opinion and the current praise from official media, the name Players Nation seemed to be stamped with an official label. Ratings for Resident Evil Revelation on major websites began to soar. It was declared the best game of the year, without exception. The gaming era in the country had begun. This was truly a nation belonging to the players. Players Nation had ushered in a new gaming era. This was the evaluation given to Resident Evil Revelation by the official media, and it can be said that, Without exception, all were words of praise. Those players who had been affected by the server shutdown and had no games to play were finally tempted to open the Interstellar gaming platform, ready to download and experience the game. However, when they opened the platform, they were shocked to find that the name Resident Evil Revelation had vanished. The only two games under Players Nation were one titled I Am Legend VR and another called Resident Evil 2. Zero Apocalypse. What the heck? Was this a revision or an upgrade? No way. It just launched yesterday, and now it's been revised? Could it have been taken down due to complaints? Who cares? Anyway, I have no games to play right now, and I want to see how amazing the hyped-up game can really be. Right? Who cares what it's called? It's all just boasting anyway. Let me give it a try. Hey, can someone start a live stream? I can't play right now since I'm at work. I want to watch the stream. Meanwhile, a bunch of netizens downloading the game, feeling bored, directly turned the comment section for Resident Evil into a text chat room. At the same time, moderators from some large domestic forums, seeing this situation, reported to their superiors and requested to add a section for Players Nation in their forums. At this moment, Lin Fei, who had just finished the revision and was lying on the sofa, was being pestered by three women. After learning about the server shutdown of the gaming company, he had hurriedly exchanged emotional points to increase game content. He was exhausted, feeling like a dead dog, yet the calls from the three women kept coming in nonstop. There are game publishing companies, game developers, game portal websites, and even some gaming forums. In short, regardless of whether they are related to gaming, all companies involved in the internet are eager to reach out for collaboration. When Lin Fei was still unknown and overlooked, he dreamed of soaring to become a top player in the industry. Now, however, he is directly overwhelmed by the constant barrage of calls. For these calls, Lin Fei decisively instructed his three assistants with a single word: reject. Reject them all. There will never be any collaboration with any company in this lifetime. As long as he can perfectly meet the requirements of Mr. Zheng this time, he won't need to collaborate with any company in the future. Meanwhile, Lin Fei is not the only one with a headache. Far away at the headquarters, Ma Huading has taken off his glasses and is rubbing his temples vigorously. The executives seated in the conference room are all silently bowing their heads. The reason for this is that a notification has just come down from the higher-ups. Due to the company's games having behaviors that induce underage users to make payments, all game servers are ordered to shut down for rectification, effective immediately, for a period of 30 days. This is clearly not a legitimate reason. It is obviously targeted. Everyone present knows in their hearts that this is a warning from the authorities. This time, they have truly hit a hard wall. In history, there has never been a situation where the company has suffered such a loss. Mr. Ma, if we shut down for a month, the estimated losses. Just then, an executive inappropriately brings up the issue of profits. However, before he can finish, Ma Huading raises his head, his slightly narrowed eyes sharp as an ice blade. Do not talk to me about losses right now. He shifts his tone, with a murderous intent, and orders. Notify everyone that the gaming department is temporarily on break, and all technical staff will work overtime to develop new games. Upon hearing Ma Huading's words, the executives all freeze, looking at their boss in shock. Are we really going to continue? Is the previous loss not enough? Looking at the chilling gaze of Ma Huading, the group hesitates repeatedly, but ultimately chooses to remain silent. In the end, several executives from the gaming department can only nod like chickens pecking at rice. Mr. Ma's idea carries significant risk, but so what? The company doesn't have shares in them. Even if they lose money, it won't affect them. You have the financial power. You're impressive. Those who can reach executive positions in the gaming department definitely understand the game market and games far better than Ma Huading. They have privately studied the sudden rise of Player Nation. It can be said that Lin Fei is like a character in a novel with cheat codes. His situation is even more impressive than the hacks made by their technical department. Starting with a broken company, having his game stolen, employees leaving, and a pile of challenges. This hellish level of difficulty has been overcome by the opponent. Now, tell me, what is this if not a cheat? And now, their own boss still wants to compete with him? Can the wealthy pay-to-win players outdo a cheat master? Wow, you're really asking for trouble. Streaming games on this platform is risky, and with new equipment. Impressive. In a live streaming room on a certain platform, a viewer sent a comment in the chat of a streamer named PlayEgg. There were only two people in the entire live stream room, the streamer's alternate account and a viewer who joined after the stream started. This platform boasts hundreds of millions of users and has top-tier traffic in the industry. However, it is not primarily a gaming live streaming platform, and not many people watch game streams here. Most viewers come to watch things like dancing, walking dogs, or performing tricks. As for games, the traffic is really low. The new streamer PlayEgg decided to stream games on this platform simply because it was convenient. Yes, just that one word, convenient. He only has this one account and couldn't be bothered to register for others. For his first stream, he didn't want to try other platforms and just wanted to test the waters here. After fiddling with his equipment, PlayEgg shyly touched his bald head and spoke to the camera. If you believe in me, it's time to switch to another gaming platform. A kind viewer, who didn't he leave, commented in the chat. Hee, let us wait and see. Play Egg glanced at the screen, saw that the game had finished downloading, and excitedly said, "The game is ready, brothers, wish me a bright future." With that, he decisively clicked to enter the game. Chapter 116, Doomsday Opening Animation. Normally, when a game is updated or revised, the official channels would release an advertisement or a CG trailer in advance. However, there are exceptions like Lin Fei. He not only skipped the advertising, but even neglected to post an announcement, taking advantage of the current public sentiment and the platform's downtime to drop a bombshell. As more and more people downloaded the game, the news of the revision for Biohazard once again shook the internet. Whoa, what the hell, are you messing with me? I've been waiting for you, and you just show me a movie? The sole viewer in the live stream expressed dissatisfaction through the comments. Bro, this is really a game from the realm of players. The streamer awkwardly replied, the realm of players? Whoa, are you talking about that game studio that's been trending all over the internet recently? Yes, that studio. I just lost my job yesterday and thought I'd try my hand at being a game streamer, fulfilling a childhood dream. The streamer, who was already balding in his 30s, sighed. Back in the day, I also dreamed of making a living through gaming. But alas, my father's belt hurt too much, and I ended up having to work. Hearing this, the viewer chuckled. Haha, so your father's belt doesn't hurt anymore? Not anymore. He has tied up. As the streamer's words faded, the live stream screen quickly transitioned from a bright blue sky to darkness. At this moment, both of them stopped interacting, eagerly anticipating what was to come. They wanted to see what this game, praised by the entire internet, was really like. Soon, the screen slowly lit up. Thick smoke obscured the sun in the sky, and in the smoke-filled, steel jungle, figures staggered through. The sound of howling wind and faint gunfire echoed in their ears. Beneath the haze and dust, an enormous, dilapidated city rivaling top-tier cities could be seen. Then the scene shifted, revealing a street filled with the undead. The camera zoomed in slowly, focusing on a fully armed soldier sprinting alone down the road, pursued closely by over 10 zombies. Whoa, what kind of movie is this? The visuals are impressive. Yeah, it looks like a war film. Hey, look at the monsters on the street. It's clearly the latest buzz around Biohazard. It really does seem like it. I can't believe someone actually dares to stream this game. So what? Didn't you see the announcement earlier? The platform has launched a game streaming section with traffic support. Is that true? If so, I might stream a retro game too. Nah, no one is interested in retro. If you're gonna watch, it has to be Biohazard. As the game's opening animation unfolded, dozens of viewers unknowingly entered the stream. These viewers were immediately captivated by the apocalyptic and ruined scenery before them, leading to a rather peculiar situation. Dozens of viewers entered the live stream, none of them leaving, and some even expressed their support for the host by sending hearts while watching. As the hearts increased, the activity in the live stream grew, leading to a gradual rise in exposure. However, at that moment, the host, completely immersed in the visual spectacle, did not notice. As the camera shifted, the perspective changed from a free view to a shaky first-person perspective. Boom. Suddenly, a loud noise erupted, and a running soldier was thrown away by the impact. With intense shaking, the entire view became hazy. Soon, the blurry image became clear again. What appeared on screen was the edge of a dark pit shrouded in smoke. Several dismembered zombies struggled to crawl toward the camera's position. Watching their decaying, pus-dripping faces draw near, the viewers in the live stream felt chills run down their spines. Under such pressure, everyone could even hear a strong heartbeat coming from the screen through their phones. Everyone couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat for the soldier lying on the ground, frozen in fear. As the half-bodied zombie drew closer, suddenly, rumble, accompanied by a fierce roar and violent tremors, a cold, heavy metal track crushed the zombie. Splatter. In an instant, the zombie burst like a water balloon, splattering sticky black liquid all over the screen. Wow, that scared me to death. Damn, what a dramatic opening. I just want to know, what movie is this? What a movie, doesn't the host's room name say Biohazard? This is the most awesome game from a certain country. The bloody scene at the beginning immediately flooded the live stream chat with comments. Meanwhile, the number of viewers also surged to over 1,000. I must say, this viewer count is a fantastic start for a first-time streamer. As everyone discussed, the screen, splattered with filth, was suddenly wiped clean by a gloved hand. The image became clear. Boom. Accompanied by deafening roars, heavy tanks that resembled ancient beasts swept across the view. That soldier on the ground. Are you trying to get yourself killed? Suddenly, an angry middle-aged voice rang out. Don't just stand there. Hurry and retreat. Not far away, a bearded middle-aged man on a tank shouted over. Hearing the command, the soldier seemed to snap back to reality, hurriedly turning to look around. Heavy armored vehicles and tanks rolled out from the distant city streets, converging on the ring road leading to the outskirts. Woo! Just then, the air raid siren blared. The bearded man on the tank instantly turned pale upon hearing it. Damn! Without hesitation, he jumped off the tank, running while shouting loudly, "Run! Get to the sewers! Hurry! Hurry!" As the loud roar echoed, all the car doors around opened, and hundreds of soldiers rushed towards the nearest sewer entrance. But in the next second, buzz! A beam of light, bright as day, suddenly erupted. Through the screen, everyone squinted their eyes against the dazzling white light. Boom! The white light vanished in an instant, accompanied by a deep rumbling sound that shook the entire scene. As the soldiers turned their heads, the viewer's perspective shifted towards the city center. There, in the heart of the city, a mushroom cloud wrapped in crimson flames slowly rose. Before they could appreciate this stunning sight, the viewers saw a fiery shockwave sweeping towards them. Amidst the flames, piercing screams echoed. Those who had not yet managed to escape into the sewer were instantly ignited. Dust and debris flew. The sea of fire engulfed everything. Individuals' clothes turned to ash in an instant, and their exposed skin caught fire in a moment. In the next second, the skin cracked, flesh ignited, and in the blink of an eye, they turned to dust and were swept away. Witnessing this scene, the viewers in the live stream were all horrified. Is this a nuclear explosion? Wow, the impact is just overwhelming. This power. Chapter 117. Heading to the nuclear explosion center, the wind howled and the cold air bit. As a car slowly came to a stop on a dilapidated road filled with debris. Bang! Gunshots rang out, and a nearby zombie suddenly had its head explode, collapsing onto the dust-covered road with a thud. As the dust began to rise, an arm reached out from the car door and retracted, revealing a figure clad in protective gear and a full chemical defense helmet stepping out of the vehicle. Looking up at the gray sky, Lin Luo muttered under her breath, "Damn, they really plan to destroy all of humanity." With that, she pressed the communication device on her shoulder and said, "Calling the Salvation Army headquarters." Calling the Salvation Army headquarters. As Lin Luo made her call, the communicator on her shoulder quickly responded, but the signal was poor for some unknown reason. ZZZZ. This is ZZZZ, Salvation Army headquarters. Hearing the intermittent signal, Lin Luo frowned slightly and said, "I'm Lin Luo. I have arrived at the edge of the radiation zone, requesting to enter the radiation area for investigation." Commander. ZZZZ. Deputy Commander Ma rebutted. ZZZZ. Listening to the static-filled communication device, Lin Luo bluntly stated, "Tell old Ma that radiation has little effect on my physique." After saying that, she no longer waited. Taking out a Geiger counter and some equipment from the car, she resolutely headed towards the city that resembled ruins. Clang, clang, clang. Accompanied by a sound like iron sheets being torn apart, Lin Luo stepped into the radiation-filled ruins. The Geiger counter is a device specifically designed to detect the intensity of ionizing radiation, particles, rays, and X-rays. As the harsh alarm of the device sounded, the numbers on Lin Luo's Geiger counter began to rise. 500, 600, 700. With each step she took, the numbers increased. From a normal perspective, if an ordinary person were in this situation, even in protective gear, the continually rising numbers would undoubtedly be a suicidal act. A normal person can only tolerate a maximum radiation dose of 1 millisievert per year. A single X-ray at a hospital accumulates only about 0.1. In the current environment Lin Luo found herself in, an ordinary person without protective gear would likely suffer from skin lesions in no time. It must be said that radiation is indeed a terrifying thing, especially since its harm to the human body is intangible and invisible. Fortunately, Lin Luo's physique was different from ordinary people. Since the last time she and her companions had been tampered with, their bodies had been strengthening every moment. While radiation is frightening, for Lin Luo, as long as the levels do not reach the point of instantly turning her into mush, she can withstand it thanks to her recovery ability. One can't help but say, Sister Luo is impressive, going in and out of radiation zones. I just chuckle. This woman relies on her special abilities. Otherwise, she'd have to start over in no time. Hiss. Is this what they call a nuclear wasteland? The wasteland can be considered as such, but a nuclear war may not be the case. I think this is a premeditated massacre. Do you think it's possible that those foreign players are involved? Come on. They're struggling to survive themselves. How could they have the energy to drop bombs on us? What the person upstairs said is right. I watched the live stream over the wall at noon, and that group of friends is having a tough time. However, there is one player who is impressive. He even managed to get the wife of an NPC named Rick. Lin Luo has long been accustomed to the barrage of comments that occasionally veer off topic in the live stream. Looking at the Geiger counter in her hand, which was constantly rising, she turned her head to glance at the desolate and silent gray world around her. The radioactive dust swirled like falling feathers, blotting out the sun. As she ventured deeper into the city, the ground became softer, covered in a thick layer of deep gray ash. The heavy breathing inside her protective suit, along with the alarm of the Geiger counter, created an eerie atmosphere in this gray and silent environment. Just then, low hoarse, strange growls echoed around her. Lin Luo's heart tightened, and she immediately turned her head to look around. Suddenly, her gaze fixed on a nearby ruin, which was a two-story building. However, the building no longer resembled its former self. The eerie, raspy sounds were coming from the entrance of this half-collapsed structure. In two puddles of sticky, dark brown muck, two heads with flesh in a gooey state were moving their mouths in her direction, making unsettling noises. Oh my god! The sight in front of her made Lin Luo exclaim, nearly causing her to vomit inside her chemical protection helmet. It was so disgusting, so damn disgusting. It turned out to be two zombies that had been impacted and then further irradiated. Even though most of their bodies had turned to mush, they still exhibited a bloodthirsty demeanor. This couldn't help but make Lin Luo marvel at the horror of that mysterious virus. Lin Luo didn't deal with the two zombies and continued walking toward the city center. With the establishment of the Salvation Army, various talents joined, and it had now taken shape. However, unexpectedly, as the game progressed, the city they were hundreds of kilometers away from encountered an attack. At first, they didn't pay much attention, but after a player with the Salvation Army identity respawned, a piece of news caught their attention. According to that player, the location of the attack was precisely in the bustling area of the city center. That player had initially been assigned to a hotel in the city center as a server, and the outbreak in the city originated from their hotel. The server player, along with other survivors, fled the city, but just as they were about to reach the city's edge, the attack occurred. After hearing this, Lin Luo instinctively asked for the name of the hotel. Unexpectedly, the other party mentioned a name that surprised several of them. The International Hotel. Again, it's the International Hotel. Hearing this name, Lin Luo and the others immediately thought of their own changes. To clarify the relationship, the strongest among them, Lin Luo, took the initiative to propose a request to investigate. Step by step, she moved towards the city center, the sound of the Geiger counter beside her growing increasingly urgent. She continued along the dusty and obstructed street, where the surroundings were almost entirely shrouded in a dull gray covered in dust. Occasionally, she would see decay buried beneath the dust, some of it even moving. These rotting, writhing, slimy accumulations were undoubtedly remnants of the previous zombies. Observing the horrifying scene, Lin Luo proceeded cautiously, her worries deepening. She was now concerned not only about viral attacks, but also about the sudden and inexplicable strikes. Although the number of members in the rescue organization had already exceeded tens of thousands, facing an opponent that could launch attacks at any moment was truly worrisome for the future. After a long time, the value on Lin Luo's Geiger counter surged to 6,000. At the same time, a large scorched pit, emitting smoke, appeared before her eyes. As she looked around, everything was charred black. Chapter 118, The Guardian. Human Purge Plan. Wow, this place is probably only fit for those brave enough to come here, right? I wouldn't come here even if you paid me. As the discussion among the livestream audience continued, Lin Luo paused. The Geiger counter in her hand emitted a piercing beep. If one were to switch to an aerial view at this moment, they would be shocked by the scene. In a giant black pit resembling a meteor impact, Lin Luo, dressed in protective gear, stood in the center. Surrounding her was nothing but scorched earth, with no signs of life. After standing still for a while, the only sound was the beeping of the Geiger counter. The nuclear explosion had obliterated everything. There was no valuable information to be found, and Lin Luo's beautiful eyes reflected a hint of disappointment. She instinctively turned to leave. However, suddenly, with a rumble, the ground beneath her feet trembled slightly, and a part of the ground nearby collapsed. As dirt and rock tumbled down, a black hole about 5 meters in diameter appeared. Seeing this, Lin Luo hesitated for a moment before walking to the edge of the hole. Looking down, the dark entrance seemed bottomless. She took 2 glow sticks from her backpack, snapped them to life, and tossed one into the hole. The green glow faintly illuminated the walls of the pit, revealing a cold metallic sheen. After about 20 seconds, the glowing stick stopped falling. Looking down to what must be dozens of meters deep, Lin Luo hesitated before climbing up the iron ladder at the edge of the hole. Slowly, she began to descend. Wow, is Sister Luo so brave now? I remember she used to be afraid of heights. Afraid of heights? In the world of Resident Evil. Let alone being afraid of heights, even cowards can be trained into daredevils. Fear of heights is nothing. Right, what the person above said is true. There's a guy in our class who used to be a softie, but ever since he started playing this game, he has become more manly. Exactly. In fact, Lin's game is really well made. It's just been smeared by some with ulterior motives. Ulterior motives? You mean the big shots who swapped servers and shut down the game, right? Seeing the audience in the live stream praise her brother, Lin Luo couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. It felt as if they were praising her. To be honest, she used to have a fear of heights. Just to give you an idea, even on her own floor, she wouldn't dare go near the window to look down. Even with window protection, Every time she looked down, she felt like she was going to fall. However, that issue, after playing Resident Evil for a long time, she had unknowingly overcome it. As she delved deeper, the surrounding light completely vanished, and Lin Luo had to turn on the lighting device on her head. Inside the entire elevator shaft, apart from the metal walls and the hanging iron ladder, there was nothing else. Lin Luo, there is something next to you. There is a door next to you. Stop, stop, there is a door next to the streamer. Just as she was about 10 meters from the bottom, comments in the live stream began to flood in rapidly. Seeing this, Lin Luo quickly stopped and instinctively turned her head to glance aside. Immediately, a flash of light reflected back. She squinted her eyes and finally saw that there was indeed a closed elevator door at that spot. You guys have sharp eyes. However, it's about 2 meters away. If I miss, I'm done for. Looking at the elevator door roughly 2 meters away, Lin Luo spoke with a tone of difficulty. Although she sounded troubled, she had already reacted. After responding to the viewers in the live stream, Lin Luo immediately pushed off the ground and leaped toward the closed elevator door. Her action instantly startled the viewers in the live stream. Wow, this girl has gone crazy. Confirmed, you're still you. Let us eat. The music played, accompanied by the frenzied barrage in the live stream. Everyone was stunned by the scene before them. They saw Lin Luo, who jumped toward the smooth elevator door, did not fall as everyone expected. Instead, she firmly pressed against the door. It was only then that everyone realized Lin Luo had spread her body and was desperately holding onto the tiny edge of the elevator door. Seeing this completely illogical scene, the live stream erupted again. Wow, what is this, Spider-Man? Nonsense. Clearly, this is cheating. Cheating? Use some common sense, okay? Such a thing is not impossible. As long as a person's strength is strong enough, they can use leverage to hold themselves in place. The person upstairs is right. Look at Lin Luo's hand. With a reminder from a viewer in the live stream, everyone finally noticed that Lin Luo's right hand was gripping the gap in the elevator door. Only then did they realize that the elevator door in front of her was not tightly closed. Under the astonished gaze of the crowd, Lin Luo forcefully pulled the elevator door open wide enough for a person to pass through, and she quickly slipped inside. The overhead lights instantly illuminated her surroundings. She did not rush to leave, but stood still, listening carefully for a while. Aside from the occasional sound of dirt and stones falling from the elevator shaft behind her, there was no other noise. Tap, tap, tap. Stepping out of the elevator, the sound of her shoes scraping against the floor was particularly piercing in the silent corridor. Following the dark corridor, she soon arrived at a vast area scattered with debris. Papers and documents were strewn everywhere. Human eradication plan? While looking around, Lin Luo was suddenly attracted by a green plastic folder with a label on it. She bent down to pick up the folder and instinctively opened it. Damn! Inside the folder, there was only a single A4 paper printed with a few words, prompting Lin Luo to exclaim in disbelief. Guardians, reduce humanity. First plan, war reduction failure. World War II population consumption, below target. Backup plan, virus time cycle. 1 year remaining human population. Conservatively 500 million executing group. ENCO group. Genry technology. Wow, everything was indeed premeditated. What kind of person is so ruthless as to want to eliminate all of humanity? For my analysis, it should be linked to the name Guardians. Are you serious with this analysis? Guardians? Just by the name, one can tell it's a righteous organization. Come on, can you stop acting so clueless? Guardians? Don't be fooled by the name. Do you even know what they are protecting? It might not be humanity. Holding a document and watching the audience discuss in the live stream, Lin Luo suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. Yes, Guardians. Who can guarantee that this possibly existing organization is protecting humanity? From various signs, it seems that this Guardians could very well be the mastermind behind the apocalypse in this game world. Suddenly, Lin Luo hurriedly lowered his head, trying to find more information about the Guardians on the ground. However, at that moment, a series of dull thuds echoed through the floor. Thud, thud, thud. Chapter 119. The Legend of My Unmatched Power. What on earth is this? Soon, under the bright lights above Lin Luo, an extremely tall and brutal figure appeared on the live stream screen. Bang! Crash! Under the lights, the gigantic figure violently smashed through the office partition's glass and charged towards Lin Luo. Oh my goodness, this guy looks just like someone wielding a big hammer. Indeed, he looks quite similar, but he's definitely more vicious. What are you waiting for, Luojia? Hurry up and take him down. The viewers in the live stream, seeing Lin Luo hesitate, immediately broke out in a cold sweat for her. Facing the giant figure, Lin Luo calmly raised her gun and aimed directly at the creature's head. Bang, bang, bang. To be safe, she fired 3 shots in quick succession. At such close range, even that previous big hammer zombie would probably meet its end after these 3 shots. Thud. Under the beam of the headlight, the giant, hideous zombies had instantly burst forth with 3 arrows of blood. However, contrary to Lin Luo's expectations, the giant zombie did not fall. Instead, The 3 bullets that hit it ignited the monster's ferocity. Roar. A hoarse and deep roar instantly filled the entire room. At the same time,